If you've still yet to discover them, the Toree games, as well as MacBat64 and Super Kiwi 64 from developer Sagtro, are nostalgic gems of games, taking influence from 3D platformers of the 90s such as Banjo-Kazooie and Mario 64. But now comes Toree's Panic Pack, a game collection trio featuring fat budgie Toree and some of the most challenging levels ever to grace the series. So let's take a look at this budget bundle and see what you're actually getting for a game priced shockingly at under $1. So unlike the previous Toree games, Toree's Panic Pack is actually a compilation of 3 different titles, each containing their own set of games with their own styles and format. But the game opens with a nice little title screen with some retro style box art where we get to select between the trio. Now we have Tor Genesis, Tor Jumble Jam 2 and Tori Missions, and I'm going to be going through each in turn just to give you an idea of how each of them plays and what you can actually expect from them. Kicking things off though with Tor Genesis, right away you can get a feel for the influences with this one, which are of course the classic Sonic games on the Sega Genesis, or if you're a Brit like me, the Mega Drive. And the title screen and its music are very reminiscent of the original Sonic game, and both look and sound absolutely fantastic. As we get into the game, you can see that the visual style of the first level also takes influence from Green Hill Zone, with its grassy textures, blocky orange platforms and palm trees. And I initially thought that I had to jump over and avoid these purple laser looking things, but I soon discovered that these are in fact boost gates, and they give the gameplay in this one a much faster pace than previous Toree games as you blast your way through levels, launching half every little lump at breakneck speeds through boost gates and rings. Now you still have the classic Toree controls here of movement with a thumbstick, jump and double jump mechanics and holding down the ZR button to dash, but the speed of the gameplay definitely changes things up a lot, making it feel less like a slow-paced N64 platformer and more like the Genesis titles that it's intending to replicate. The boost pads also give you a shield, allowing you to smash into and destroy enemies, which is a first for the series from what I can remember, as previously these had to be avoided entirely. But I also forgot that the camera could actually be manipulated in these games, and alongside the 3D platforming, this actually gives it somewhat of a Sonic Adventure feel. As with the previous games though, there is still a bit of jank going on when it comes to the controls and camera, and the camera controls are inverted, which always stands to confuse me, and getting Toree to jump how and where you want can be a bit of a pain in the ass, especially with a double jump which you actually need to hold to get maximum height from, but overall they do feel like they've been improved on from previous entries. Aside from the Green Hill inspired zone though, you also have a Wing Fortress like level where you're tasked with using floating platforms to make your way up a huge flying airship, and a futuristic neon level which has you racing a mohawk toting anti-Toree to its end goal. While it is unfortunate that there are only 3 levels available in Tor Genesis, all of these levels are very well put together, allowing you to string together jumps and boosts with not too much difficulty, though I will admit that the neon one was a little generic in comparison to the other 2, but there is some added gameplay as each of them has 3 shards hidden throughout them, which unlocks a nice little secret if you manage to hunt them all down and collect them. Moving on to Jumble Jam 2 then, these are a set of 4 challenging bonus levels using the level style of Toree 2, so requiring more deliberate jump timing and some tricky platforming. But when they say challenging, they mean challenging here. And the developer appears to have really ramped up the difficulty in this one compared to the previous entries, so if you've played these and have come here expecting a nice relaxing platforming experience, you're in for a bit of a shock as these levels are incredibly difficult. The first is a blocky industrial level with moving walls and floor plates, the second an idyllic sea resort with flowing waterways, the third a fiery volcano level, and the last a futuristic spaceport. And each of these brings its own unique stage mechanics for you to contend with and plenty of stars to collect to unlock additional characters. While I appreciate the effort that has gone into crafting these levels, I have to say that for me, some of the jumps were just way too precise, with tiny walkways to land on, And the boost pads and rings also make an appearance, but they're way too finicky in my opinion and didn't appear to operate quite as well as they should have, resulting in a lot of deaths and me failing to complete even 3 of the 4 levels, but overall some nice ideas going on and a decent level of challenge on offer. The third and final game mode is the Tori Missions, and these take place within a simulation, kind of like the VR missions of Metal Gear Solid, but they're broken down into 4 difficulty tiers, with each of them containing a set of 6 missions. The missions themselves present unique challenges, such as collecting all of the stars in a level or defeating all of the enemies to unlock the exit portal, jumping quickly between red platforms which disappear a second after you touch them, or some high-speed boost gate shenanigans, but as you progress through the tiers, the difficulty ramps up significantly. Again though, some of these missions are just way too hard for their own good in my opinion, requiring some incredibly precise jumping and quick manipulation of the camera to stay on track, and many of the later levels feature a demonic skull which chases you through the levels, instantly killing you if it touches you. The developer themselves even said that they expected some backlash for the difficulty of these challenge missions, but if you mastered the previous games and were looking to take things to the next level, these will certainly put your skills to the test. All in all though, once again we have another fantastic entry in the series, which offers ample amounts of gameplay for the price point, and the developers really honed the movement and camera mechanics a little more, though they're not without their issues. But what really stands out here is the variety of gameplay on offer, with each set of levels offering something unique, and it's really great to see this level of creativity being channeled into the series, as the previous games all followed a similar premise and they could have done the same with this one. But it's nice to see a developer iterating on a formula and offering something new to fans, even if they may have gone a little too hardcore on them this time round. If you're a fan of retro platformers though, you'll no doubt enjoy this one and the other games that I mentioned, and even if you are a little strapped for cash, you've really got no excuse not to pick them up right away. But I can see no better way to spend $1 this week than on Toree's Panic Pack. That about does it though for this review. So are you a fan of the Toree games, and how did you find this latest entry? Let me know down in the comments section below. For now though, thanks to the patrons of the channel and to you the viewers for watching, and until next time, take care of yourselves and game on.